It's game time, we ain't playing with you. It's game time, it's game time, we ain't playing with you. That's how we ball for y'all.
What up, what up, what up, what up? You're rocking with Duke Fabio. Thanks for joining me for episode 107. Round of applause. Yeah, so I'm back here again. Let's go over some topics, let's jump right in like we do. He's war. We're still in war. There's update on it. It's a little bit negotiation. As negotiation was supposed to be going on, that was the thing. And now negotiation's over. So the end of negotiation's done. It's past the deadline. It's just so funny how while we was in negotiation, Iran said they was never in negotiation with us. But we're done with negotiation. It's to the point there we we have no other option but to cool it down. We can't make sure the bombing. We don't want that to start on both sides, but it looks like it's really about this straight. That's really like the big thing that's really affecting Iran. It's affecting the USA. I mean, it's just up and down. It's up and down. According to different sources, now what they say is that economic D-Day. I said, pause on that. Boy, pause. But yeah, so I guess the plan is now because we got the blockage going on with the strait. That's really helping us where now that it's kind of cut down Iran. Where they can't get certain ships, and now it's kind of going to hurt their economy. So I think that's the game plan where Trump's trying to use and go for, because he feels that economically they cannot survive, and if we stop their shipping and certain things they can't function, hopefully that gives them more reason to negotiate with us and come to their senses to try to negotiate. Because Trump's like, oh, I keep trying to negotiate with them. I keep trying to negotiate with them, but they don't want to negotiate because I told you, man, because of that straight now, they feel like they have it. But according to Trump, no, we have. He's talking about, you want to make it part of the USA. I mean, but I guess because of the blockage, that blockage really, is working. A lot of people not seeing that is working, but I guess it's working to the point where that's the next option to squeeze Iran and try to see if they can come to their senses to negotiate. You know, but hey, Iran they're holding in. They're holding in there. They're holding in there because where we say we open the strait, they say no. We closing the strait. The strait's still closed. You can't get certain ships through here without us knowing. And they're still bombing certain oil ships that try to run through there. We're getting a good flow. We're getting ships through there, but it's not the same as it was before. But we're trying to get things going, and that's where we're at right now. But it was interesting how Trump want to go around and say you want to be call it a D-Day. So let's check it.
President Trump announced economic D-Day against Iran as he calls on other countries around the world to support the United States. The president indicated that if any country provides a financial lifeline to the Iranians, they'll face their own economic consequences. The president posting to Truth Social saying no one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal than me. Tragically for them, they have failed to take it. Therefore, today I am announcing the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. This will be economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale. On Wednesday, the president described the state of play amid reports that the United States is still overseeing vessels through a safe corridor out of the Strait of Hormuz to export millions of barrels of crude oil each day.
So they're thinking, yeah, when getting some oil through, strays open, but it's just funny. Iran was like, yeah, I don't think
Immediately after the statement by President Trump about the Strait of Hormuz, Iranian officials denied the critical waterway is open. The Iranians launched additional attacks on vessels there over the weekend, with Iran's foreign minister saying this.
Iran's foreign policy is a continuous process. Each government may move it forward through a series of initiatives, a different kind of dialogue, and new initiatives. But our foreign policy has a number of fixed principles that every government seeks to advance.
The Financial Times reports that Iran has weighed hitting U.S. targets in Europe if the war escalates again. The reports specifically named countries such as Cyprus and Bulgaria.
So their plan is like, hey, nah, we're still gonna hit some of these ships if we don't like, regardless. You can have that blockage, but we're still gonna hit some ships. And if you even think about bombing us, we're gonna bomb Europe. We're gonna go next. We're gonna go to next year. We're gonna bomb your allies and see how they feel. See what they think about that. So they're still going back and forth. It's still war going on, still costing, and we're still hearing mixed information. So we're just trying to squeeze them out. We're just trying to squeeze them out to the point that it affects them economically, and now they have to negotiate. But to them, they feel like they're comfortable. So they feel like they're comfortable, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. We do need to hurry up, negotiate in this war, but it just looks like it's not happening. It looks like it's really not happening. And then Trump jumped out and started talking about, basically, because he has a meeting with Kim Jong soon. He's meet with him, and he started talking out. He was like, yeah, he has 57 nuclears. I mean, I guess that's the reason why you want to be more closely, more friendly, talk a different tune when you're talking to him, because you already know how he gets. You know how his dictation is and how he's running his country over there. So I hope that we can come to some type of an agreement, and then we can just try to end this war. Another thing they was talking about how they would say China is number 2 in technology and AI. I was like, that's interesting for him to say that, but that's what he had to say.
We're ensuring that America remains the undisputed leader, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but also technologies like prediction markets, artificial intelligence, and much more. And we're leading in every single one. And I will tell you, the AI, the artificial intelligence, we're way ahead of number 2. Number 2 is China. And I never want to underestimate China, but right now we're way ahead. President Xi's coming on September 24th. We look forward to it. We'll probably be talking about AI and a lot of other things. We're ensuring.
So I look at that like, yeah, Donald Trump has to, he has to root and stay true to the USA. He's not going to say, oh, we're number 3 here. He got to just be core to the number 1. But if you say that we're number 1, I want to see more. I want to see more of this technology of AI because it didn't really start the way I see in China. In China, there's certain places have their technology is out of the world, especially in certain places that they already created where subways is cleaner, subways is moving smoother. Technology is taking over everywhere when it's come to ordering food, when it comes to obviously these robots, it's just unbelievable how Unitree just took over and the remarkable things that it can do from just dancing now it's running. It's the way controlling it is just ahead of our technology. I mean, yes, Tesla is definitely in the running, but they're definitely advanced. So hopefully, and now they're the chips. You know, there was a big thing about the chips, and those chips is obviously is getting made in China. You know, certain things that make it, you know, they're making things work in China. So I just want to see, you know, you call that as number one. I want to see the technology that we're developing that's ahead of China because you're obviously, you know, talking about flying cars. That's China. You know, their car systems alone, they have different technology and it's affordable too. You know, like the technology that I see and they put in their cars costs $100,000 to them. It's like $50,000. You know, their technology is definitely parking their own cars. They're doing, you know, they're doing so much things in advance, even in their technology with school. I see how they have certain camera systems that they can detect kids what they're doing and thinking and tracking. It's very advanced. It's very advanced in the way that they're using it and learning kids at an early age. They're using technology. So I would like to see where this number, you know, one is. I want to see more of what is they here to develop because I he talk about it greatly, like, but they're definitely ahead of a lot of things that we still that I feel that we have potential to catch up on, but definitely with the now ships, you know, but they have their own rocket ships that they're launching too. So I see they're neck and neck, but hopefully he knows something that we don't know that's coming. You know, and if it's that, then I want to see it because talking about Unitree, the robot, you know, they finally opened up their IPO into the stock exchange, but they had it in the Shanghai Stock Exchange, and they did very well. They did very well. I figured they was going to do pretty well because just looking at the demonstration, it just is ahead of our time. You know, they said like 600%. You know, on opening day, so that's pretty good. You know, it's pretty good. But that technology to be so advanced already, and it's not. I mean, it looks like somebody's controlling it still, but to let that off, they're selling it. You know, they're already shipping those out, and people are buying them even at a reasonable price, 15,000 or something like whatever it is. So they're already moving, and people are buying. So I see why that stock could do very well. But I heard somebody talk about Bill Bolt. You know, he's you know, yeah, won the Olympics, but they're saying that the robots are already faster than him, beating the speed. That's
Backflipping, drop kicking, high jumping, Usain Bolt beating Unitree robot all over the internet. Well, this week they just went public on the Shanghai Exchange at like a 50 billion plus valuation. And they opened up like 629%, closed up like 460%, retail's oversubscribed like 8,000 times. What's going on here? Well, I guess congratulations, Unitree. You are a fully certified meme stock. They do that in China, right? Here's the thing. Unlike most meme stocks though, this one's actually making money. They've shipped over 5,500 humanoids and made a profit doing it. And their G1 robot starts at like $16,000 and you can order it online like today. Figures saying anywhere between like 20 to 25,000 eventually. Apptronics like, you know, somewhere under 50,000. I mean, the Tesla Optimus, I mean, they've been promising like 20,000 since 2021. You know, Elon could be late sometimes. But Unitree, they're not promising. They've been shipping. And it's not necessarily that the Unitree engineers are better. It's really about where they sit. I mean, a decade of Chinese investment in EVs and drones, BYD, NIO, DJI, it commoditized the exact parts that these humanoids need. Oh yeah, and a hardware change that takes like Silicon Valley maybe 3 weeks to push, Unitree could do it in like 48 hours. It's because the suppliers like right there down the road in Guangzhou or Shenzhen. But let's remember, the hardware is really only half the machine. Unitree ended up partnering with DeepSeek to build the brain, which tells you that they know it too, because no one's won that software layer yet. The US still leads on frontier model capability. So we've all seen this backflipping.
so they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing ahead of technology, and I want to definitely got to catch up on certain things. But hey, he knows something that we don't know. Let's see it. Let's see it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Mhm. But let's jump into some music topic. You know, still the Chris Brown Usher tour, R&B tour. It's going crazy. It's still selling out. They've added extra days. They running it back to the MetLife soon in October. Yeah, no, that shows still, it's looking like a record-breaking show. I mean, I got the pleasure to actually go and see it, and yeah, it was a good performance, from just keeping the attention. And then especially the acts that they brought out was definitely phenomenal too. Seeing Mario, Tang, Eric Bellinger, like just be there and just pop out and sing back up. And when I went, there was A Boogie popped out, Mary J. Blige popped out, Ashanti popped out. So to have these acts to come help out, it's just an extra show. And then they had there when I wasn't there, they had 50 Cents, popped out, had Jada and Joe popped out, uh, just name a couple few, but just other acts to just kind of just bring it together. So it's a hell of a, you're putting out a hell of a show, and even different cities they're bringing it to is still keeping that momentum going. And even the DJ who's starting up the show, starting the party up, that was tight too. Keep it going. But yeah, it just that was those are the shows that people are going out paying them our money to go see, and they're doing their thing. I mean, because that duel alone is just hits after hits, hearing hits after hits. Top it on, and the ratio they always talk about too is a lot of ladies in there. So they bringing them out, bringing out all the ladies. And then fellas bringing their girls, their wives, everybody's enjoying the show. So but these are the this is what everybody kind of was waiting for, them to have that type of uh performance together and then show their ability, what they had, the hits and this and that. Chris been doing his thing, and just to add usher on, to extra bring out more hits and bring out more music. It's a sing along, man. It's a great performance. I'm glad they added extra shows. As people who didn't get to go see it, now they have the opportunity to see it and hear about it. Chris Brown flying through the stadium. It's so dope. I used seen the footage when he hooked up his mom to the stadium too, and she was flying. So that's a beautiful thing to have. As a family thing. That's beautiful. But yeah, hell of a shows that they're running, and it's very dope. And I definitely like everybody to try to go see that. Check that out if you could. That's definitely dope. Sticking on some music, Drake's back in the headlines when he did the 20v1. What really stuck out to me, uh, people talk about the first when he had made the taking the shots. He was like basically, it's be careful who's talking or saying anything because ink's not dry. You know what I'm saying? So his pen game is still there, and anybody want to jump out there, he's ready. He's still ready. So people kind of like, oh, who's he talking about? Who's that directly? And I think that's getting it for anybody. But but it looks obvious. It looks obvious because he had his thing what he said with Jay Z, and then Jay Z had a good run. He's taking over. He did crazy with the Yankee Stadium. See what he did to that. That was historic. So he was doing his freestyle at the Roots picnic. So I think that was probably targeted mostly to Jay because it looks like it, and I really feel that Jay Z's dropping some music soon right after he get from there. Done with this is gonna last with the LA and Paris. But you gotta understand LA's coming up, so the rumor is maybe bringing out Kendrick. And you know how that goes. Maybe Kendrick might say something or some freestyle might go on, whatever. I mean? You gotta keep the internet talking, so it's gotta be something gonna happen when these shows go on. And he's just saying, hey, you mentioned my name, do something, I'm coming right back at you. I'm still ready. I'm still ready. So I think he's talking to Jay. I think he's talking to Hope, uh, or in Kendrick too. But because all his I don't know. I mean, I'm into conspiracy, but I don't know if it's true or not. But supposedly Rock Nation was doing so much antics to stop Drake um from his shows and things like that when he was trying to put out more music and all this other stuff. But that I don't want to see them. I don't want to see them battle because they're damn near 1 and 2, however you want to put it. So I don't want to. I don't want to see them battle because I don't want them. If you get some good music out of it, cool. But nah, it's like, come on, just leave it. Just leave it to be. Have the respect for each other and what y'all both accomplished, and just keep it that way. Because it's just if good music come out of it, cool. But I don't want no battle. Just like I don't kind of want to see no round two. I don't want to see no round two of Drake and Kendrick. I think that's over with. I think it's over with that too. So I don't want to see any of that. But I think that was what he was whispering of. Probably because hey, be careful, mention my name. Mention my name. But going on to the 20v1, the thing that really stuck out to me was Lena the Plug giving giving Drake the hall pass. She said, "Hey, you use anytime." So and we all know Lena the Plug is married to Adam. So for her to throw that ring and everything. I mean, he probably didn't like that, but I don't know. It's all showing games because they have a interesting relationship, especially say what she do for a profession. She said she's a porn star. So obviously, she been getting it in with other guys and girls. And I think you lying, Drake. You damn sure had to see it. I mean, yeah, you probably seen some clips. So you definitely seen when she asked you like, "Oh, you seen my work?" Not really, Seen like Reddit, seen clips. Shit. I'm sure you had to see something. You had to see you had to see something. She's out there, boy. She's definitely out there, um, performing and doing her job. And doing her job well, may I say. But yeah, that was interesting. And then people talked about him and he has this golf thing fetish going on, with the golf girls. So that was they look good, And even one that she said, oh, 'cause I guess somebody must have said something about, oh, you gotta hide all that makeup on, and she clarified when she took her makeup off, she was still looking good too. So, but everybody was talking about how, oh, she made him bark. Like how could Drake do that and act like that? Because he's an actor. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's an actor. Don't forget him from Degrassi. I mean, I ain't personally watched the show to know about it, but he's been an actor. He's been an actor. That's where he started actually. So that's his personality. I mean, even like his damn near the skits on SNL that is like classic. Him being a different, acting and just having fun with everything. So I wouldn't put that past the way he did that. That's like his personality. I feel like just having to have fun. So for him today, he's acting. He's an actor, so you can't really hold too much above that. Like, oh, how could one of your favorites R&B represent himself like that? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's acting. So he's having fun. I expect that from Drake. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, he's into the golfing thing. She won. I think it's dope that she's, oh, what do you want? I feel like it's all staged. I feel like it's all kind of, she already knew. How do you just know what you want? Said, I want to buy my mom a house. And he's like, yeah, no problem. You do that. So the way he's being very generous to the ladies is yeah, very crazy. But that's his bag, whatever he got it. I guess it's nothing wrong, but I guess he's just showing the ladies what he does, with all the giving, If he's blessed to do it, he's doing it and keep doing it. So, but yeah, so it was interesting to have that with Ben the Don, he's a streamer too. So see their chemistry is a little bit different too. So but I think his friend, I guess he helping him out, popping out how he want to pop out. So yeah, people was talking about that in the headlines. Also, her name, I think, the little with the little people, whatever, I don't, whatever. I started watching. I seen her in there. She was yeah, Catherine, I think Catherine, whatever her name, I forgot. But yeah, it was interesting to see her because I ended up watching the show. I ended up watching the shows. The what is it, little single? Oh no, like something like that. But yeah, it's on HBO. Check it out. So definitely a cool show. I actually started liking all of them. It's John, or but this is a cool show. I definitely if I get time to watch that. You really want to just see some different reality on that. But uh, another thing people was talking about, the verse. The verse that went on. The verse went on with Joe. And Donnell Jones. This is dope to see them. It's dope to see them two come together and make good R&B for the fans to show what they've been doing with their hits and kind of battle it out. In a nice, cool R&B, singing it out with the band, live band. It was cool. It was always watch. I always support the verses, and I like what Swiss and Timbo put together from day one. Always from the pandemic, that was just a great idea, and to see it flourish into this is getting better and better. So that's what's up. But yeah, 702. I didn't see them in a while. Donald Jones. I didn't even know he wrote that song, so that was just to hear that was up different. You know, they both put out the big pun records. That was another highlight. Both have different pun records. They brought that out. And then Joe brought out 50 Cent and G Unit. So that was damn near a huge surprise. 'Cause you don't pop out nothing a lot. So for 50 just to pop out for Joe, I guess they make their songs together. That was good guest appearance. I would say this, Joe. You definitely showed how your ability of singing live. And enough to change. I did check out when he did the Tiny Death. So I already got a glimpse of how he's still singing the way he performs, and that's still that's just R&B. You're talented enough to do that. But Donnell Jones holding it down himself. Still sounding a little rusty, but it was still sound like the records and still just reminiscing of when we used that when you kind of heard them songs. But if I had to pick, yeah, I think Joe won. I think Joe won. Performance wise, I would say, but it wasn't too far off. If it was like one or two off, that was it. But I think they both did a good job. And I think the verses still should continue. We're talking about the ladies next, but I don't know what they're gonna because it takes a while. And like you was saying, these things take a couple of months to develop. It's not just because you gotta take it serious. So you gotta perform. You gotta have you ready. What's next on there? How you gonna use the platform to make it even bigger and better, and type of things like that. And but it was still I love always watch verses and want to continue watching that. Talking about one of the verses, Game. Game dropped the album Documentary 3. Yo, yo, he feels probably he's the outcast. He doesn't have like group, the really like click up group. But Game's still putting out good music, and that what he say he's doing it for him. It's not he's like, oh, family and everything, kids it's straight. So now he just want to do it for him. So that damn near dope dope ass album to have Little Wayne on there. The stepper that was hard. What's that 40? Say 40. Is it the one with Kanye West? Up, up. And Kanye was always up something on there. So for him to get that out of Kanye, that's pretty dope. You had seen a couple of videos of them um running around before. So for him to keep his trilogy going, I think that was dope. For him to have three now, because everybody liked the documentary, the first one. So for him to keep going and keep putting out good music, dope. I thought Drake was going to say something on the No Breaks. People waiting for that, but it's a good, good West Coast vibe. Definitely the club popping type, vibe, whatever. But he got some tracks on there. You know, it just came out recently, but yeah, 40 Nights. That's 40 Nights is hard. Jesus hard, you know, Stepper. I guess you put the No Breaks in there. The vibe. But yeah, yeah, the run it up, Leon Thomas, or a little R&B at a party next door, party at the game. So yeah, you know, like the Tiger one joint, you know that too. So I think that's dope. I think that's just the put stamp. Like, hey, go give my flowers while I'm alive. You know, type of vibe. And that's joint is definitely hot album. I rock it. So yeah, check that out, documentary. But talking about Tiger, Lee, he's probably feeling the backlash coming on with that Scarface. You know, it's definitely like a Scarface vibe if you had to be there. I don't know what was that, like 70s, 60s. I don't even know. But yeah, that was probably a vibe, you know. But the backlash is the AI, man. You know, people still not on the AI music boat. And I don't blame him, you know. I'm still not all the way there too. Uh I say it's cool to use it as a tool. Hey, it's a tool. You know, it's definitely a tool. But even I forgot the guy who else sound kind of brought that kind of 70s song. I forget his name. You know, he got that song going on. But he tried to perform it and it didn't sound the same. And I think that's where it's gonna struggle. If you lean too much on AI, where now it's time to perform it, you can't sound like it. It's Milli Vanilli, you know what I mean? Might as well lip sing it 'cause that's not your, you know, it's not even you. But yeah, I'm still not on board of it. I don't really want to talk bad about it, you know, but is this the best work that Ty could put out? No. You know, I think he definitely, if he was just trying something, hey, cool. You just trying something, see how it works, see if the vibe is going to catch up on it. Hey, that's what you want to do. But we want, if this is a person, you know, we still want to have the authentic and the music, and that's where AI cannot do yet. You know, you can't pull that off yet. You know, it's still something that you're playing around with. It's still a tool. It's still technology. You know, it sounds good. A lot of some of the AI taking those voices and recreating different vibes. Cool. You know, I feel like it still should be separate. You know, maybe one day somebody's gonna have a AI radio. You know, 'cause I don't think it's going anywhere. So I don't want to be the old guy in the room to keep talking bad about it. You know, but I'm not gonna embrace it. No. If most of my music that I'm listening to is AI, no. One day will it be changed like that? Yes. 10 years down the line, maybe 20, 30 might be all AI. So I mean, I'm not gonna go too much far against it. I'm just gonna listen to what I listen to, still make the music I make. And if you want to use it, like I said, if you want to use that as a tool, you gotta use that as a tool. I'm not there yet, but I know the way technology is moving so fast, other people are absorbing it and making their own way of the AI music. Hey, cool. You know, at the end of the day, if it feels real, let's see. Let's see. Well, you better have some type of talent in there when you gotta try to step out performing, or you're gonna look crazy. Or it's not gonna stand the test. You know, like you can catch you one or two. Could you put a whole project of AI together and then perform it, have the world repeating everything? We'll see. Is somebody gonna do it? I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure somebody's working on it right now. Somebody's playing around with that. What Suno? Somebody's playing around with that right now, try to catch a couple. Hey, will it progress longevity? Because you have these people who've been in the game over 20 years, 10 years, whatever, you know, 30 years, 40 years still playing that music that's timeless. It can make room for another era, but it's not going to get rid of the music that's already there. That's called classic. So, hey, you know, that's the debate. But you be the judge. Go check out his project. Check out his project. But yeah, so that's that's what I kind of got for everybody today. It's right, short one, but I always gotta leave you with a little bit of motivation. So yeah, some motivation. I need a motivation. All right, this is a long one. It says, boring is beautiful. Go to bed early, wake up early, eat simple food, save some money, exercise daily, avoid drama, love your people, be boring in the best way possible. Sometimes you got to embrace what you're having a regular every day, because once you turn off that internet, you go back into they say you want to pull a boring life, whatever. It's your real life. It's your regular downtown, whatever you want to do, you can just go ahead and do. But sometimes boring is beautiful. So you want to just quiet, sit back, read a book, or go outside and look at walk in the park or go to a river or something, beach, things like I guess they call it that maybe the boring because there's not so much excitement and lights and Disney. But hey, you can do simple things and enjoy that and see the beauty in it. So I think that's what they meant on that. They said that. They said a bunch of key things with that, but I like that one too. You know. Oh, oh. All right, let's get to it. It says start now, start where you are, start with fear, start with pain, start with doubt, start with hands shaking, start with voice trembling, but start. Start and don't stop. Start where you are with what you have. Just start. Okay. Hey, that's a good motivation. Just start. Just start. Start and see where it takes you and see where, what it develops and what else develops behind it. So, yeah, I like those. I like that one, That's definitely a cool message. Um, just start, I think that's just the first step. I like that. I like when they say start with fear. Shoot. 'Cause, you kind of like, fearing to start. But and they said, well, start with doubt. You doubt yourself. You start. I start. Still might not be where I'm supposed to be. I start. Things are not going to be the same. Shoot. And then it says start with a handshake. I guess that's just straight up introduction. Introducing yourself. Hey, blah blah blah, and this that. I like that one. I really do like that one. But yeah. So that's what I got for everybody today. But thanks for joining for 107. And then a round of applause on that again. All right. Yeah, so check out everything I got going on there still. Still check out the Patreon, start drop some more stuff behind the scenes. Also check out the music. Music is still, is drumming up, still getting in music mode. So maybe I might be dropping something soon. I'm still won't put everything together to make it right. But it's politics. I hate to say it's politics. Things need to get clear and things like that, to be honest. But still there. So definitely look out for that. Or just go listen to the other ones I have. Still listen to Savage, High Dollar Sign. G Her will jump on the intro with Skyrise. Check out that. Check out Born to Fail. Also check out what else like that there. Keep It Real. That was nice. I like that R&B vibes because everybody doing the R&B thing. Yeah. So Skyrise, Savage, Born to Fail, and what else I got? I don't know. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. See what I got. Oh yeah, thanks for joining for episode 107. Peace.
I love it. You guys are so great.